Moon Dong-eun drives to Semyong and rents a small place at Eden Apartments. She moves in and organizes her things. On one wall, she pins pictures of Park Yeon-jin and the others who bullied her in the past. She imagines Yeon-jin walking into her home and not realizing who she is. In her mind, she sees herself hitting Yeon-jin with the stapler and telling her that she will kill her. She begins to explain what happened in her life that brought her to this moment. In 2004, a young Dong-eun reports to the police about the bullying she has been facing in her high school. The police chief, Shin Young-jun, calls Yeonjin's mother and assures her that he will make the case disappear. He and Yeonjin's mother are childhood friends, and he has also been helping her with her divorce. Young-jun casually tells Yeonjin to stop bullying other students. The rest of the bullies are picked up by their guardians. A teacher from their school comes to the police station and acts as Dong-eun's legal guardian. He scolds her for going to the police, calling the bullying nothing more than a small prank. Upset that the vice principal has already found out about the case. Yeonjin's mother is disappointed in her, not because she is a bully, but because she failed to handle Dong-eun. The next day, things get worse for Dong-eun. Yeonjin burns her arm with a hair iron. The group continues to torture, mock, and sexually assault her. Dong-eun goes to the school nurse and asks for hydrogen peroxide for her wounds. The nurse asks why she needs it, and Dong-eun lies, saying she wants to clean the blood from her shirt. The nurse checks Dong-eun's arms and is shocked to see the burn marks. She asks who hurt her, but Dong-eun stays silent. The nurse offers to help her report the case to her teacher. However, Yeonjin, who is also in the infirmary talking to her mother on the phone, makes her presence known and openly admits that she has been hurting Dong-eun. A few days later, the nurse resigns from her job. Later, Dong-eun goes home and finds Yeonjin and the gang inside. They have broken in and made themselves comfortable, drinking and laughing. Yeonjin has gone through her things and found her piggy bank. She tells Dong-eun she can either dance for them or be burned with a hand iron if she wants her savings back. In the end, they use the hand iron on her legs. Dong-eun reaches her breaking point and thinks about ending her life. She decides to drop out of school and writes down the names of her bullies as the reason for her transfer. The vice principal argues with the class homeroom teacher about the situation. The teacher calls Dong-eun and insults her for listing the rich kids as the cause. He tells her to come back to school and collect her belongings. In the staff office, Dong-eun stands up for herself, which angers the teacher. He slaps her repeatedly until other teachers step in to stop him. Meanwhile, Dong-eun's mother, who works at a small, rundown salon, gets a call about her daughter. She meets with Yeonjin's mother, who offers her money as a settlement. She agrees to sign papers saying Dong-eun is dropping out due to maladjustment. The next morning, Dong-eun learns about the payout and her mother's betrayal when she wakes up to find her mother has moved out without telling her. Dong-eun takes on several low-paying jobs to survive and once again thinks about ending her life. She decides against it and chooses to keep living. She returns to school one last time and tells Yeonjin that they will meet again. She says Yeonjin is her dream, then walks away. 2006 to 2008. During this time, Dong-eun studies from home while working to support herself. She manages to graduate from high school and enroll in college. Her desire for revenge against Yeonjin remains strong. 2009, Dong-eun enters Yucheon University of Education and continues planning her revenge. Present day, Dong-eun makes her first contact with Yeonjin's daughter, Ha-ye-sol, and tells her that she knows her mother. Meanwhile, Yeonjin works as a weather presenter at a TV station. Glory opens with Dong-eun sitting in a dimly lit cybercafe, her eyes fixed on the glowing screen in front of her. She's digging into the lives of her former bullies, one profile at a time. Son Myung-oh appears to be living his best bad boy life, flaunting expensive clothes and flashy nights out. Lee Sara has built a name for herself as an artist, but her pictures and posts reveal another habit, getting high. Choi Hae-jung works as a flight attendant, traveling the world with a perfect smile, while John Jae-jun runs an upscale store called Siesta. Jae-jun's life is even more complicated. He's having an affair with Yeonjin, who is preparing to marry another man. On the surface, they all look successful and happy, but Dong-eun watches closely, knowing she will use every secret against them. Later, Dong-eun meets Gu Sung-hee, a woman she knew years ago when they both worked at a factory before Dong-eun entered college. Now, Dong-eun works as a tutor, and in this quiet meeting, she reveals her true intentions: to destroy the people who ruined her life. Sung-hee isn't convinced that revenge is a good idea, warning her of the cost it might bring. But despite her doubts, she still agrees to help by setting up a new Instagram account so Dong-eun can keep watching her targets more closely. For Dong-eun, this isn't just anger, it's patience. Every move will be calculated, every step deliberate. And no matter how long it takes, she is not ready to let go. Dong-eun's tutoring job is far from easy. Day after day, she deals with entitled, spoiled children from wealthy families. One afternoon, a young male student crosses the line and tries to flirt with her. Without hesitation, she ends the lesson on the spot and terminates the contract, refusing to tolerate such behavior. But as she steps outside the house, the weight of exhaustion hits her. Her vision blurs, her knees give way, and she collapses right there on the street. She's rushed to the hospital, where she briefly crosses paths with Ju Yo-jung, a medical intern. He notices her pale complexion and tries to assist her, but before he can do much, Dong-eun slips out of the hospital without a word. Later, when the attending doctor returns with her test results, Yo-jung learns the truth. Dong-eun is severely anemic. She had left without getting her prescription or any treatment. Concerned and curious, he decides not to let it go. Using what little information he has, he searches for her, eventually tracking her down to her university. At first, Ju Yo-jung keeps his distance, quietly watching Dong-eun from afar, but she isn't oblivious. Over time, she notices his presence. One day, she confronts him directly, asking why he's been following her. Calmly, he admits the truth. He's been keeping an eye on her because she needs to take better care of her health. Meanwhile, Yeonjin's life continues to sparkle on the surface. She marries in a grand, lavish ceremony, surrounded by wealth and admiration. Hidden from sight, Dong-eun watches the celebration in silence, her eyes fixed on the woman who once destroyed her. Back in her own life, Dong-eun begins spending more time with Yo-jung. Their conversations grow more comfortable, and he offers to teach her how to play the board game Go. She listens, learns, and quietly absorbs the strategy. But once she has mastered the basics, she abruptly ends their contact, cutting him out of her life without explanation. For her, every interaction has a purpose, and this one has served its role. 2015. After years of persistence, Dong-eun finally passes the teacher's qualification exam on her second attempt. It's a quiet but important victory, another step toward the life and the revenge she's been building. That same year, Yeonjin welcomes a new chapter of her own when she gives birth to a baby. 2021. By now, Yeonjin is happily married and still living comfortably in Semyeong. On her birthday, her husband surprises her with a gift: a pair of elegant green heels, almost identical to the ones Dong-eun wore the day she first met Hye-sol. But not everything is perfect in her world. Her husband hears rumors that Hye-jong has been gossiping about Yeonjin's past, and he's not happy about it. Yeonjin reassures him she'll deal with it herself. Later, she meets with Sarah, and together they confront Hye-jong, putting her firmly back in her place. Meanwhile, Dong-eun is quietly working in the shadows, collecting bits of trash from her enemies. Every scrap a potential weapon. Among the pieces, she stumbles upon something particularly intriguing, a detail that could change everything. 2022, Yeonjin continues her career as a weather broadcaster, smiling for the cameras, unaware of the storm slowly closing in on her. Elsewhere, Yo-jung finds himself thinking about the days he spent playing Go with Dong-eun, missing her company. One afternoon, Dong-eun walks into the siesta store and runs into Myung-oh. She greets him with an unsettling comment that she's been thinking about him lately. Flattered and curious, he offers to buy her the shoes she's trying on and invites her out for a drink. As they talk, he brags about how much control he has over the shop, though in truth, it belongs to Jae-jun. Myung-oh is little more than an errand boy, but in his mind, he's much more important. Dong-eun chooses coffee over drinks, and the two sit together talking. Mid-conversation, Myung-oh's phone buzzes with a message from one of the store employees. The worker tells him that Jae-jun called, asking why Myung-oh still hasn't finished the errand he was assigned. A faint smirk appears on Dong-eun's face as she mocks him for being nothing more than Jae-jun's little errand boy. But then her tone shifts. She tells him there's a way for him to stop being under Jae-jun's thumb, planting the idea like bait. Later, Dong-eun seeks out the son of teacher Kim Jong-moon, the same teacher who once betrayed her. Now elderly and frail, Kim Jong-moon is living in a nursing home. Their conversation is cut short when Dong-eun's phone rings. On the other end is a realtor from Semyoung Real Estate, informing her that a vacancy has opened in the apartment she's been trying to rent. That night, as she's secretly digging through Yeonjin's household trash, her plan takes an unexpected turn. An employee who works for Yeonjin catches her in the act. Instead of reporting her, the woman leans in and makes a chilling offer. She'll keep quiet about the garbage if Dong-eun agrees to kill her husband. Dong-eun driving to the home of Kang Hyun-nam, the woman who once asked her to kill her abusive husband. Hyun-nam is still suffering from his violence, and her daughter is now thinking about killing him herself to protect her mother. Meanwhile, Yo-jung is working as a doctor. His career is going well, but he still misses Dong-eun. He thinks back to their last conversation, when they said goodbye. Dong-eun couldn't understand what kind of struggles he could have as someone who grew up wealthy and privileged. Dong-eun meets Hyun-nam and hires her to help with her revenge plans. She tells her to learn how to drive and offers to tutor Hyun-nam's daughter. In the weeks that follow, Hyun-nam attends driving school, while every weekend on the train, Dong-eun tutors her daughter. When Hyun-nam finally gets her driving license, she is eager to show it to Dong-eun. Dong-eun then teaches her how to use a digital camera and even gives her a car. Together, they create a schedule for how they will exchange the information they gather. Dong-eun instructs her to watch the gang closely and report everything. Most of the time, Hyun-nam leaves the collected information inside the car, and Dong-eun picks it up later. Hyun-nam takes photos of Yeon-jin leaving an eye clinic with her daughter. From this, Dong-eun discovers that Ha-ye-sol is colorblind, just like Jae-jun. She realizes that Jae-jun could be Yeon-jin's daughter's real father. At the same time, Yeon-jin is trying to hide Ha-ye-sol's colorblindness from her husband, Ha Do-young. Meanwhile, Do-young meets his acquaintance, Mr. Choi, to discuss business while playing Go. By coincidence, Dong-eun is also there playing Go and impressively beating her opponent. Do-young becomes fascinated by her strategy during the game and starts returning to the place, hoping to see her again. In another part of the city, Hyun-nam follows Hye-jung and spots her meeting with Myung-oh. Hye-jung wants Myung-oh to help her dig into information about her new target. One day, while traveling on the train to tutor Hyun-nam's daughter, Dong-eun unexpectedly runs into Yo-jung. They catch up and talk about what has been happening in their lives. Yo-jung tells her that playing Go with her once helped him get through the coldest season of his life. He thanks her and hands her his contact card. Through Hyun-nam's investigations, Dong-eun gains valuable information that she can use against Chairman Kim Shin-tae. She learns that he is gay and uses this secret as leverage to get him to hire her as a teacher in Ha-ye-sol's grade. Later, Dong-eun visits teacher Kim Jong-moon at his home. At first, he doesn't recognize her, but when his son, Soo-han, arrives, he is shocked to find out that Dong-eun knows his father. Later, Dong-eun meets Myung-oh on the rooftop of an old abandoned building. She reminds him about another girl they bullied before her, So-hae, who was pushed off that very rooftop and killed. Myung-oh denies knowing anything about the murder, but Dong-eun tells him she can help him get money from the real killer. In exchange for the name, Myung-oh hands her hair strands he collected from Jae-jun. She promises to call him once she confirms the hair belongs to Jae-jun. At Sarah's art exhibition, Yeon-jin invites the gang to their former school to celebrate her receiving an award. During the ceremony, the whole group shows up to support her, except for Myung-oh. Dong-eun confronts them in the old gym where they once tortured her. She remains calm and composed, even though the place is filled with painful memories. As Yeon-jin accepts her award, Dong-eun quietly thinks about her plan to destroy the dream life Yeon-jin has spent years building. That's all for today's recap. You can watch the next part in the link given in the description.